Excuse me. Good morning, good day, salutations, greetings. My name is Marge. I'm a Hail Empath. I just like having these little talks on the way I feel about things, and boy, is my voice deep today. I just danced it out in the backyard a couple minutes. Rain, dancing for rain. I imagine myself standing out front. I was doing it to this song. It's 2 minutes and 20 something seconds, but if you freaking move to the whole thing, you get your heart rate up. That was Chitty Chitty Bang Bang was a significant movie to me when I was a little girl. Came out in 1977, I believe. I was 3 years old by the time I saw it on TV. See, that's the thing, is they put out movies and then like a year later they'd start putting them on, they'd show them like on TV, and then every holiday, you'd see the same stuff over and over and over. And that's how I got my affirmation about my feelings and vibrations. They have a storyline, the kid catchers in there. The guy that would catch kid. Well, they still have kid catchers, and they've been trying to catch me for years. Because when you have that heart space of love, that essence, like in the Dark Crystal, the evildoers like to take that essence and turn it, make it evil and dark, so there's less good essence, that less good stuff in the world, the more darkness for them to do their bidding. So Dick Van Dyke is funny because I watched it a couple years ago when I fell off the wagon. I went down a memory lane and started watching that movie again. It's like 3 hours. It's a really long movie. It's I love it. I love it. Love it. And then I was like, oh, I wonder if that's why I wear bow ties. Oh, I wonder if that's why I'm engineering and I like Rube Goldberg machines and stuff like that. Oh, I wonder if this is, or if these are all the things that are in me, and then that's what I get drawn to in this incarnate. And then I find things, I'm like, oh yeah, I like that. Then I find more things like that. Find out what you're in alignment with. Never been in alignment with those kid catchers. There's so many kid catchers. Kid catching is a freaking the biggest business on earth. Kid catching. We don't need to go into what they do with them once they catch them. But it's been a storyline in history since the freaking mythological gods. Kairos ate his kids. So people want to be like Kairos and identify with Kairos, and they think they're Kairos. So where do they get their power? People get weird ideas about stuff. We're just frequency and what we tune into, what we align with. I always tried to line it with things about not hurting things. And I have the tendencies to hurt people and do things to terrible people. I have those tendencies just like anybody else. It's shadow, hurt people, and I've been hurt. I just am hurting myself, trying to resist the urges to not, and my urges are just like freaking, popping the dog in the ass. My urge, but the thing of it is, it's a slippery slope. I appreciate Key Jin for her report. I watched a talk that she did she talked about Lucy Fairy on Netflix. And all this stuff exists for us to try on. Life is our soul sack, and then we get to try on different like personalities, aspects to see what fits us. And some people try on like outwardly aspects, but then their inwardly aspects are so dark and there's very extreme and nasty. And that's all the stuff that's coming to truth right now. It's coming to the light right now is all the aspects in people. Like, people are being seen for who they are. Even the bad guys, if you always thought they were bad guys, they're being shown for being good guys. And the good guys are being shown for being the freaking creepy, pervy. Why is there a freaking pervert fucking running for president right now? Why is that okay? Why is that allowed? Why is that tolerated? Oh, because money matters more than people. Good thing people are starting to connect the dots, and channels like DDK and Beauty's Q and Demetra and all this. These other folks are jumping on the same train of thought. I got my San Francisco. Hey Roman, what's up? Representing. I was thinking about the last time I went there and we did the it.Artists tour, the night tour. We came back. It was like when it was the last tour, so you came back at night and watched the bay. you know, come in on the bay at night and stuff. I stood out on the front of the boat because everybody was tired and everybody was pissy and everybody was being everybody, and I didn't want to be around them, so I was like on the bow of the boat. Actually, I was freaking dilly that for a minute. It was cold as fuck. I was like, you can do it. Don't go back in there. I had to go back in and warm up a time or two. But I'm like, all right, but I'm not going back in until we get there. I don't even want to be around them. They're dumb. The stuff I do, man. I put myself through stuff. Anyway, it's kind of a hard morning for me. It's freaking nasty out. I don't even know what it is. It's steam, it's freaking fog, it's freaking smoke, it's just everywhere. I danced for 202 minutes and 30 seconds and I'm like, like, man, this shit is, it's, and then I try to not get too upset, you know, too sad, but I can't fake it, man. So I'm like walking through the house with my earphones on while I was waking up, I'm bawling, you know, just all the loss of lives. Is the window closed? Shit. Sorry, Stanley. I'm showing my ass. Sorry. My tights were not up all the way. That was almost a submersible situation. Go ahead, girl. Go ahead. Did you hide at the hydration station? Pretty lady. You're so pretty. Come say hi. Luna never say hi, huh? Since I'm not in the mood, I bet you guess bitches. You're so pretty. Show the people how pretty you are. That's my pretty girl. She came from South Carolina. She was 40 minutes from being put down. I said, no. I take her. This is too cute. This is too cute. We got more to do. She came from North Carolina, about 50 miles from where the eclipse that started in Salem exited on the other side of the coast. And then that was in like 2014, 2015 when she came in, because I was supposed to foster her, and then I failed. I ended up just keeping her because she became the pack, and ain't nobody else gonna handle her quirks like me, because we all got our sensitivities, we all got our stuff, including her. Because of her abuse, she has a jagged tooth. It's like obsidian. When she gets scared, she defends herself by nipping. But if you don't ever get her scared, she don't ever nip. So, we just make sure she's ever in a position where she has to defend herself, and it works out. I'm an animal whisperer too, man. Like Dr. Doolittle, we all do it. Just most people are like, don't believe that their freaking animals have spirits and stuff like that. That's just the shit that's weird to me. It's like, what's wrong with you? Everything has an energy and a spirit. Even a rock. How many rocks make people happy? I mean, and they paint stuff on it. Love. Dude, that rock can freaking make somebody just as happy without painting all over it. It's the energy of it. The person recognizes it, picks it up, and sees the potential in it, and then makes it something beautiful. But the rock already knows it's something beautiful. People are so silly. They just don't let things be what they are. They just don't allow for things. They just get one idea of how things should be, and then if anything's outside that idea, it's crazy. And okay, I was like, my whole life, people, because they always call mom crazy and stuff, and I'm like, I'm not crazy, you know. And I'm like, you know what? And people are like, okay, what's the stigma? So what, you know? I'm like, fucking, I can't be crazy because I don't get benefits for it. I don't get paid for it, so I guess I must not be crazy. Because don't crazy people get benefits for it? Allowances for it? So, I don't know, I just think I'm stressed out all the time and I'm sick of it. And I don't even know what's going to happen next. So I want to thank Keijin for her report. You know, she was talking about watching, because I watched I don't think I got through the first episode. Maybe I did get through this. I don't know. I'd have to go back. I'm about ready to cancel my Netflix. Not done with Netflix. I ordered Mom Longmire on DVD. Then I checked my bank account balance, and I was like, maybe I shouldn't have done that, but I'm getting nervous. It's always down to the wire. It's always, my whole life has been by my skin and my teeth. And then it's like, just when it gets like so narrow scope, and there's no way, and then something bursts through. And then allowances happen, and then it's smooth sailing. And then I go back and I look at these periods, and I'm like, Marge, why did you worry about it so much? Because sometimes, as much as I like to talk about my faith being bigger than my fear, sometimes my fear vibrates lower than my faith. It's like heavier. So I gotta constantly do things to pull myself up out of that vibration, like dancing to freaking chitty chitty bang bang in my backyard for rain. I'll do whatever, man. I just gotta keep things light, because, oh, and on top of everything else, fucking ant flow. If that isn't enough to piss you off. I'm like, I'm 46. You know, I mean, I've like, it's been this uterus, this whole life experience. I was telling Mom this morning, I was like, you know, Mom, I said, it's pretty funny that, you know, I said, and then my aunt, you know, I said, on top of everything else, Mom, that started today, so, you know, let's be reminded of the aspect of myself that I've tried to deny my whole life, of the feminine aspect in me. Because I always identified it with being weak. Because, you know, like a 10-month-old baby could fight back, right? It's like, you know, these things that other people tell you, and then you're like, oh, you take it on as your truth. But as you find out, you know, if you're solid in yourself, what you find out is what they say is bullshit. Because truth has a vibration, and they don't, and what they say don't vibe in that don't sit in that vibe. It literally don't. So I tried to watch Luciferi, you know, and they have those shows. That's why those things exist. Netflix, the Hulu, all those, just to see what people are gonna watch. And then they take all those demographics, and then they create storylines in the world, you know, because they already know what we're gonna buy, because we already paid for it. You know, psych ops and all that stuff, man. There's never been a time where somebody hasn't been watching somebody else. We're all just an alien ant farm, you know, or just an alien ant farm. I think it is hilarious to me that people, we're all alien. We are on a rock in space, yet but very few people identify with us being part of the whole space. It's just everything out there is alien. But we're human beings. No. If it looks like a muskrat, it probably derived from a lineage of ratage. If it looks like a lizard, it probably has blue blood and is from a lineage of lizard. You know, if it looks like an ape, it probably came from the freaking, you know, inner earth lion people, red-headed regions. You know, you have the Scandinavians. These are all different freaking collective energies of different freaking lineage in the sky. You got your Italians on Earth, you got your Swiss, you got your American, you got your Canadian, well, you got your Palladian, you got your Lemurian, you got your freaking Sirius B. Sirius B, I think that's where I'm from. I think that's my constellation in the nation, in the sky, you know. I just have remembered, that's where spirit is. God, it's spirit, soul, all of our solar system. When you take your last breath, you incarnate into just but a dream. Rest in peace, Marvel. Marvel Ann passed away, I saw today. Read her obit. That's all we are. We're a couple of paragraphs, man. I wonder what mine's gonna say. Crazy nutball lady freaking always tried to make friends, talk to herself on YouTube for a better way of life. This is just all mental health stuff, man. See, that's the thing. My whole life, people have like always tried to see that there were things wrong with me, and every place they tried to take me, the places just said, no, she's okay. She's good. She's, oddly enough, it's unverifiably, it's really weird, but she's pretty okay. She's just scared about stuff because fucking stuff has happened in life. If stuff hasn't happened to you in life, if you're still going to work every day 9 to 5 and you got big plans for the weekend, you gonna see the big game. How many freaking human beings have said that? And now the game is off. I love that pro sports. I can't wait. I just all the sports go away. Think about all the money we could they could pay people to go maintain the forests. So when stuff like this happens, cities and countless people don't die because, you know, the people that were just doing their jobs didn't do their fucking jobs. Kitty meow. So, there's a fire chief here that resigned because he went in to see about some friends of his. And they looked at that as abuse of power, and I'm just like, dude, politics is a whole paradigm made for people to abuse power and do nothing else but abuse power. Because when I'm seeing things like numbers like Bloomberg is giving $100 million to Florida to make sure Biden wins, and you can keep eating those kids and fucking farming, doing all your beating evildoers. Evildoers! Down with the evildoers! Cat wants out. I had to put tights on last night. Okay. So they put all that stuff on Netflix, so you check it out. But, you know, and there's been shows, I've watched terrible, nasty shows like Marge. I felt dirty, but it's like almost like reconnaissance, because you can use, there's a lot of tips and trades and stuff in there, and because they're telling you who they are. Because it's the producers and stuff and the writers that are involved in this shit and hang out with, you know, and so there's a lot of freaking reality to that. My hinge, see, that's what happened. Duct tape isn't always 100% effective. It doesn't always hold my fan because it vibrates. But it's my hinge because I broke my fan. I said, no, I want you over here. I was too rough. See, my whole life, I've been trying not to be too rough, because I'm one of those, like, when you're little, like, if you have a little kid that you let him play too rough with the cat. I did that, like, one time, like, and then it was established immediately that is a human being. It has a spirit. You can hurt it. And it does it. There are ways that bodies can move, and there are ways that they can't, and that is not one of them. And if you cannot handle the cat, you will not be allowed to touch the cat. The cat will be a spectator sport. And I just thought, they're little aliens too, man. They're related to the freaking lion people, the freaking Sasquatch, the giants and stuff, man. This is all stuff I believe. Other people believe it too, because look at the movies that they watch. Magic, Hogwarts, Harry Potter. People believe in magic. There's dark sorcerers and light sorcerer. I'm light. There's full spectrum. I don't need the benefits that are gotten from doing freaking horrific, nefarious things. I don't no. So the world is changing very fast, huh? How's it changing in your world? What's your tower moment? Mom's still getting up and around. Man, this is not easy on her. None of this moving, and then with the fires, and then just today. So I'm like, Mom, it's Sunday. We're gonna just spend it with God. It's gonna be a day of rest and a day of prayer. There's not a whole lot we can do for today. You know, just try not to say anything mean to anybody and blow your life up, because this Mars and Aries energy, everybody is freaking fighting mad. Everybody's fighting. People are out there. People are literally out there on the front lines, like in their communities, and like trying to douse flames with buckets of water and stuff like that. I mean, that's the thing of other talks. I've been doing these for almost 4 years now, and with the Reading car fire and when Paradise burned down, you know, these are all storylines that have all happened. They just need to stop. We can prevent them. Why don't they have Smokey the Bear no more? You know? Where's all the, you know, teaching fire safety? And now we have nutballs that are freaking so dehinged because pharmaceuticals and opiates had all those gazillionaires had to fucking get rich and greedy, and so they had to put all their, so you have all these zombified freaking spiritless artificial intelligence people that are walking around just, with their freaking broken programming that society created, by saying everybody cares for everybody as the crack society. We're here to help. All these non-for-profits with their freaking road rangers, with their freaking, homeless for America, and their SUVs and their office buildings and their houses and their T-shirts and their pins and all their stuff. We're here to help people, and so people get mad and they're like, "Fuck it! If I don't have a home, I'm gonna ruin it for everybody else." And that's it, dude. A lot of these fires are set on purpose because people are just mad and sick and mad and tired, because nobody cares about nobody. They don't got that in them to not hurt people. They don't got it. They don't got the discipline to not hurt people. They want to hurt people. Hurt people want to hurt people. Like right now, my universe is flaring. I want to pick up this laptop and throw it against the wall. Because I don't understand. When I was in the Air Force, I was like, dude, give me a hysterectomy. They're like, no, we gotta do that. You know what's funny about that? It's because I asked for it and they wouldn't let me have it. I swear, it's like whatever you ask for, they're just say no. That's my life. Whatever I ask for of people, no. I mean, I straight up ask people for help, like in specific ways. No, I don't help you like that. Oh, okay. Well, could you give me a laundry list of things that I can ask for, and I can just see if there's anything that's worth a piss on me to that? Rules and regulations. When you have people that just keep making up rules and regulations, and they don't follow the rules and regulations, but it's a nightmare for my brain. It's a nightmare. So it's just like, what do you want me to do? What is it? Because I know that there's things in life that I can do to get my way. So if somebody could just tell me what those things were. I considered freaking looking to do porn at one point just to get freaking financially situated. I'm not even kidding, dude. The funny thing is I know so many women. I've heard story after story of women and men, of people that just and I'm like, no, Marge, you can't do that, because someday if you meet somebody, a girl you really like, you want to really tell her that you did this. I'm trying to be a good wife for the future now by setting my behavior, so I can't do that. Plus, there ain't no fucking demographic for me nowhere. Anyway. Fucking stupid. But I'm like, that's how people make fucking money quick. I know I thought about you. I almost sent you an email. You got a hurricane. What's her name? Sally? I woke up to that, or went to bed with that. Yeah. Yep. You got one. See, and that's the thing, because the deals, it's freaking, that's cool. I'm like Lieutenant Dan, dude. Only I'm not in a wheelchair. But when my dad got in his accident when I was a kid, I used to screw around and play it on his wheelchair, because I put myself in other people's lives, so I always appreciate what I have. And so when he was in a wheelchair for a year, so I screw around on his wheelchair and learn how to, like, do tricks and stunts and stuff like that, like wheelies and stuff like that. And I was showing off in the parking lot at a restaurant in Omaha, Nebraska. It closed a couple years ago, but it was open for like 50 years, one of those. It's called Lums. Where a bunch of people after friends of Bill W. go hang out and have coffee, meeting after the meeting and stuff. And it was on a hill, and it was like icy. And I did it backwards and freaking flipped over. Oh my god, I'm so glad. I could have cracked the back of my skull just wide open. I have seconds and inches, man. It's amazing. It's amazing that I'm still here. It's amazing that any of us are wake up every day to tell the tale. So, what's it called? NOLA. New Orleans. Ireland's? I need a bigger phone. See, what I do is, where people are in significant places to me, I have in my AccuWeather, I have all these different places where people are that I know. So when I look at weather, it only takes a second, like the next couple of days, what it's going to be here. Then, when is it supposed to land? I'll look at that later. But yeah, with the astrological, it's really interesting. If really people start getting into the astrology of it, see, we got all this fire energy, and then we got all this freaking Aquarius energy, which is water. Okay. And that's what's happening, is because you have these two energies, the hard energy of people want to, haven't been able to do what they want to do this year. Everything's changed. They have to do this shit, and then now on top of this shit and already being down. Thanks, homie. And people already being down. Thanks, homie. People already being down. Then it's just like, this other bullshit. It's our life lesson. It's our life lesson of just bullshit. But every day, you just deal with the bullshit in this day. Don't deal with the bullshit yesterday, and don't deal with the bullshit that you got to deal with tomorrow. Just deal with today, man. Whatever you can do. If you're really hanging on by a thread, because I know so many people are. I know a lot of people are just like nothing else. Like I'm just sitting. I was thinking about that because people, I thought freaking health class was such a freaking farce when I was 15, because it's like every 28 days you start this, or and then if you don't, then there's something wrong with you, and they try to regulate it to make sure, and hormones and all this stuff, and that's all for business, is what I figured out. The reality of it is women are in line with the clock of the moon, and so sometimes it's a full moon, sometimes it's a, and so they. Anyway, I'm getting off track. My point is when I was born, they took one of my mom's ovaries. They cut her uterus in half and pulled out one of her ovaries. She never had permission. They never had permission. They never said, they just did it. They just did it. There wasn't a reason. They just did it. So that made her crazy. Like it would make anyone crazy. And if you know anybody that was in the 1970s, 80s, if your mom's, and you're in like in your 40s, 50s, 30s, or your mom's had hormone replacement, they took things like Premarin, things like that, hormone, to replace the hormones that they took naturally, how come there's never been no lawsuits for that? Oh, because statute of limitations are for criminals, people. They're not for the victims. They're for criminals. Laws are for criminals. People are starting to see that thanks to DDK. And I listened to DT last night for a little while in Nevada. I'm a lot like him. And so his way of thinking, it's like okay, I can listen to about 20 minutes. I'm watching for him to go like this, to point like this. When he points at the crowd, I'm looking for him to do this, because you know why? In sign language, because he likes to point, and he has his and I notice that sometimes. So I'm looking for him to point at people like this, because in sign language. I noticed that last night. I'm like, well, how's he pointing? I even got a screen grab of in sign language of what Q is. I mean, maybe it is, maybe it's not. That's the thing, is information is never 100% verifiable unless you said, hey, DT, would you point? Are you doing, and he's like, hey, yeah, I am. That's the only way but that ain't gonna happen, so we can just wonder about stuff. And that's what I do. I spend my time wondering about stuff and sharing it with people I don't know. Because what else are you going to do, man? It's freaking dark outside. It's smoky. I can't even hang out outside I can, but it's freaking nasty. And then I'm fighting with the cat because the cat wants out. And I'm like, no, dude, you don't. So, try stuff on that fits. This is what this stuff is. God, man, there are so many people that just live out loud just for Satan. It is such a fucking trip. And they think it's cute. Like, they don't understand the ramifications. People are like, I'm a vampire. And then you look at their profiles, and they have like pentagrams upside down. I mean, and they are exactly living out loud. the Lucy lifestyle, you know, and and people are figuring out because they're listening to Jessie Zabora and her stories and stuff like that, and they're seeing, oh, that adds up. Yeah, Oprah, she makes a pretty good freaking witch, and that other freaking. See, I didn't pay attention to the whole Obama. I didn't like politics and because I failed history and I always thought it was just made up bullshit. So it's always pageantry and it's always just a game and it has nothing to do with me. And a lot of us, I think, felt that way for a long, long time. So because they relied on people just leaving it up to them, they fell in their ego. And when they fell in their ego, they lost their spirit and they started playing for the dark side, the side of opportunistic crap and control and money and all that stuff. I've been watching it coming because when I was young in high school, they'd make us watch shows like The Wave. How easy it is. And that was based on a true story. A teacher got freaking the school that turn on each other, and it was like freaking what it is today all over the place. And when people are mad inside, they create the tension. We create kinetic energy. So if you don't think those freaking all that bullshit protests that happened in freaking Portland, all those freaking I'm mad, so I'm gonna burn shit down now. Look at what's happening to your beloved. I mean, you shit on your state, and then now you're gonna care about your state. Which is it? Let me know who's in charge and how they feel that way. What am I supposed to go along with, and what's okay? I deleted music off my phone today because I was even rationalized because Keegan was so accountable in that talk that she did yesterday, and she was like, I feel bad for, and I'm like, no, don't feel bad for watching that. You tried it on and you realize it doesn't fit, and I deleted Ed Sheridan two albums from 2011 album and 2017. Those are the only albums I liked. I liked them. And then Lady Gaga, and I saw her up in Tacoma, and it's just like, you can't be mad at stuff for like, being for things and support and and being in the experience and the joyful and that don't let them taint that by who they became, okay? Don't let them taint and because to my knowledge she wasn't that then, but then she kept growing. She went to Las Vegas, and she went and did her freaking, makeup thing, and that's just all. Makeup is just a tool of deviation. You just want to look real pretty so you can act a certain kind of way to get people to do a certain kind of thing that you want them to do. It ain't no different than freaking alcohol or, economic freedom or anything like that. It ain't no different. It ain't no different. No different. When you try to manipulate and control people, and the way that they done it now in society, like the Jesuits is, dude, go listen to Jessie's talk. She freaking puts it all together. She puts it all. I worked at a Jesuit university, and like this one priest became like interested in hanging out with me, but I wasn't gonna hang out with just him. And so, one time but it was like, and like, so he took me where they lived and where they all slept and stuff. And it is such a weird thing because they just pass themselves around like little rooks on a chess piece all over because I always paid attention to who the dignitaries were and the special speakers that came and where they came, South Africa, and where, and it just, and it's all paid for by God. But you know what? That same university has a $2,000 lien on a car that I was $1,600 away from paying off, and then my life blew up out. I had to feed us. So they repoed the car. I cleaned it all up before they took it away, so it was all nice and clean when they came to get it. Made sure, leave it better than you found it. I like that car a lot. Fit all the dogs and us in it. Mom. It's cool. Anyway, I miss it, but what do you do? Anyway, and so they put a loan on that. I'm like, you fuckers don't pay for your own bills. They have put a $2,000 loan on it, so I can't buy it causes problems. It's just like, I see all these solutions, then I find a solution. They're like, nope, can't do that. No, just because somebody feels like saying, nope, you can't do that. I'm like, dude, freaking Harry, that bitch king, queen, prince, whatever, his birthday's a couple days, I guess. You know, he didn't have a place to go. Somebody put up him in freaking like $11 million mansion. And I'm like, can I get a piece of shit trailer someplace? You know, like a double wide mobile home or something, just next to a little. It can be a piece of crap. I'll fix it up. I don't even care. I never needed much. I never needed much because I looked at all the people that needed much, and I looked at all the shit that to keep getting the stuff that because it was just never enough. It was never enough. They always needed more, and they always had money, and they just needed more. But they were never happy, and they were never happy, and they were never satisfied. And I never wanted to be like one of those people. So I made myself just be cool with what I got and live at the minimum. My brother makes fun of me because he's like, yeah, you never wanted much for yourself in life. I'm like, just because you see it is not much for me. You don't understand the freaking hell I've been through. So if I can get some peace and quiet and a little serenity, that is all that matters to me in this life. Because I have been through more hell than you will ever even comprehend. Because you don't remember. And you weren't there. Because you were the one that was always hiding. And I was the one that was always fighting against fucking grown-ass men as a 5-year-old child. Because if I'm going to go out, at least I'm going to go out fucking fighting. I was the one that, I'm like, no, I'm seriously going to do damage to this man. He's like, doing that condescending thing where they hold you out and you're just fucking swinging your arms like, motherfucking, you hurt my mom. You kicked my mom off a second-story porch when I was walking toward her to help her up. Yeah. Yeah, But you don't hurt people. You don't hurt people. See, and the thing of it is my mom hung out with all kinds of different women. This one woman, she taught me the deviousness, the side of stuff. She's the one that told me about a lot of darkness in Northern California. I've always been giving us these teachers, and she's Molly. She's freaking wild, man. She had a husband, and they get drunk and beat the shit out of each other, but they're about the same size. He was stronger. He was a man. And then she, like, one time she's like, oh, honey, let's not fight no more. Let's just get along, and then, like, plan a nice romantic evening. She tied him up and stuff, and then beat the shit out of him with a baseball bat. Yeah. It's that kind of shit. See, that's how people really are. They just act like they're some kind of special little I learned a long time ago, I can't touch people when I get mad. I break things. So I learned a long time ago. I haven't harmed a person I never done that, and I know people that freaking dug holes, put cats in and bury them up, and then freaking run over it with the lawnmower. People are just fucking, they just don't got no spirit. It's no spirit. There's no God in them to say, don't do that. And then we live in a society where people are made to have their spirit moved because of, big pharma. But we're going back to a holistic approach because right now people are really reevaluating their lives. They are really coming to Jesus and finding out what is really important in their life because this is fucking Armageddon. This is the end of times, folks. This is the end of times. What are you going to do if you don't have a clock no more? How are you going to sustain yourself if you don't know what time it is? If, like, magnets and energy, people, we all are frequency interference, and when people are disheveled, it just creates static. It's when people are at peace when things can start to cool down. People got to calm themselves for the earth to calm down, and until that happens, it's gonna get crazier and crazier. Now in the northern hemisphere, we're stepping into fall seasons. So from, what happens with you get the fires, and then here comes the rain, But you know what happens? Landslides, mud, because all the stuff that held the ground together, it's not there to hold it no more. So that's a new set of problems, folks. People aren't thinking like this. They don't think how they don't have because we took people's ability to think away by defunding art programs and music. You taken human beings' ability for them. All they say is like, what do I have to do? I was so programmed. I can go to work. I can go do a job every day, you know. But this stuff where I don't have structure every day except for how mom eats, her schedule. But aside from that, it's just try not to get too bored, Marge. Try not to just stay busy because I'm constantly thinking. And then every now you feel people that are like, oh, you think too much. I'm like, you fucking what? You don't think much? What? How much? You think too little. You should be thinking more. If you think I think too much, you should be thinking more. Everybody should be thinking on ways to get out of freaking terrible situations. I got ways. How many people aren't using their VA loan right now? You know? How many people that don't even know they can use a VA? You know what is so weird to me? When I bought my house in Omaha, it's a beautiful house, 2331 North 63rd Street. Evidently, it's turned to shit, too, since I left. I walked in. It was the first house I walked in, or it was the second house I walked in. Because I was always doing recon on NP Dodge, and then I'd be like, okay, well, these are all the specs I want. And then I went to go look at the house. I said, what do I need to do to buy this house? He said, you write me a check for $500 right now. I had my checkbook. I wrote it for a check, and then they went through the paperwork, and then it was my house. And then I paid I think my mortgage was like $935 the last time. Paid $100 for city, $100 for gas, $100 for cable, and then I moved to Oregon, and then fucking everything blew up. It got weird. Anyway, so but it's just now trying to get a place to live. It's like, do people want people homeless? Is that what they're moving for? So it's like, I don't got no place to go. So if you want to put us up in one of those FEMA camps, we'll go because we don't have any other. Is that what the goal is? I hope that's not what the goal is. I know that's what the goal. Some people think the goal is. I don't want to think that that's what the goal is. I want people to think. I want to think that people are like, oh yeah, there's a place for you. I was looking it up online because before in history, like 10 years ago, Mom's been with me about 13 years, and there's been times that I've looked at places where where can she live where she's not living with me? Because I was listening to my brother in my ear. Just put her shit on the sidewalk. Change the locks. That's what I do. Yeah, that's what you do, huh? Huh, lawyer guy. That's what you do. When I said, hey, can you help me do this? And you said, no, I don't help you like that. Oh, okay. Well, make me a list of all the ways that you can. Nope, you don't. Oh, it's just insulting. It's just insulting. It's just insulting. People and their cognitive dissonance, it's insulting. So, yeah, I deleted songs today. Because I listen to these artists and then I feel dirty. And that's where we're moving into. That's the world we're moving into. Is you got to do what's in alignment with you, And it's so funny because some freaking heavy metal stuff is soothing to me because of the bass line, but then you got to be careful too, but I guess the easiest course of action is just not to be. The thing is, I look at stuff and I'm like, nah, I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that. So I'm not going to do that. I don't want to be that. The fact of the matter is, I'm not going to freaking. Other people are going to be what they are. Just don't be that near me, And I prefer that they not. But there's always going to be evil in the world. The evil cosigns for the good shit that happens, or the good cosigns for the evil shit that happens. It's all about duality. We can't have good things happen. Like this whole wave of technology that's about to come up and everything. It can't happen unless all this bad shit happens. And all these politicians, they're gonna all get out. They're gonna get out because people are gonna go in and fucking drag them out. Now they're trying to bring back, the instead of paying your employees to do the jobs that they were supposed to do. Now Newsom's backpedaling and saying, "Oh, let's reinstate this inmate thing. So if you go fight fires and risk your life, then we'll reduce your sentence." That's slave labor, dude. That's slave, because I remember, I mean, they always used to do that too, because they used to have people that fight fires. They would just pull them out of the prisons, jails, go fight the fire. I remember seeing one dude he stuck an axe in his foot. It's just a little freaking gangbanger from LA, and they're like, go fight fires. He doesn't know how to swing in the axe. It's just like they give him axes. They go do it, and they're like, what the fuck, I shoot people in the street, I rob banks, and I don't fucking fight, But these are their ideas, because they have money. He's a Jesuit. Go listen to Jesse Zabora's talks. I'm gonna finish listening. It's really dark though. She's not really dark. She is a beacon of light. But the content that she discusses is very dark. But it puts things a lot together, and people that want to freaking demonize and talk shit about the Q-Berts and the QBs and Q and all that Q stuff, It's just like, how are you going to talk shit about people that don't want people to fucking eat people and do kids and, control people and have this one world order and stuff. Yeah, they're nuts, huh? When people are outwardly declaring their, like Beyonce, her allegiance to the freaking Satan and all of her symbolism and stuff like that. She ain't no white witch, dude. She ain't no white witch. Jay-Z was he sold crack. White witches don't marry dudes to sell crack. Now if he would have sold weed, that would have been a different thing. But he's a dealer. He's a dealer. Whatever. And then he hung out with freaking old Marina. They all run in the same dark circles. Oh, forehead to forehead. I see you. And I've done videos where I talk about how her fall, Maria. I can understand. I can empathize with anyone, even the unempathize. I can. It makes it hard. I choose not to most of the time, but I understand why she is the way. But see, you always have free will, and when people do things to harm people, that's when we ain't the same vibe. That's when you evil and when you dark. Even like this morning, I was trying to keep the dogs away from mom, so she could sleep in a little. And I was like, reach down to get Tucker to like get him, like go, and he got scared. And Tucker's my puppy mill, and I'm like, no. So I'm like, if you guys wake up mom, you wake up mom, and that's just due timing, and that's okay, because he got scared, and just to see that vibration of him like, oh, what did I do? It just reminded me I could see him in that puppy cage, in that bunny cage, and I was like, no, buddy, that's not why you're here. You got nothing to be afraid of. I'm sorry. And I was just like, I'm like, you're okay. And that's the thing. There are people, as soon as I saw that, I'm like, that is what people like. That scare people like that. People used to torment me when I was a kid because to see me get that, and I might not. I'm scared. I would to mom. I admit, mama, I'm scared. I'm scared, mom. Is there a go? I was talk fun. I was scared. I'm scared, mom. I'm scared. Are there a ghost down there, mom? I'm scared. That stuff. And she'd walk down to haunted hills and verify that everything's okay and all that, And she always made me pray and faith, and I always had a higher power and God and stuff like that. But a lot of people aren't taught to have that, But a lot of people, like on my dad, they'd love to watch that. There's people that love it. It like gets them their knickers in it. Like it turns them on to that fear. That's if they didn't, there wouldn't be rapists. Or there wouldn't be the need for so much for Viagra, because people their bodies perform based on what their head's saying them. So if stuff ain't working, what are you telling yourself in your head? It's accountability, but yet science figure out how to make a pill, and then that's a $11 million freaking expense on the VA system for male enhancement drugs. Now it's probably up to like $18-20 million. But because you can't, you know, well, we got to pay for your boners. Why is everything about sex? Why is it, you know, all chase and sensations? And people like me that are prudes, we're the ones that are fucking, you know, crazy. It's weird, you know, all this sexualizing stuff. I feel I'm about to be a nun. I'm about to be freaking, you know, I'm about to be a little shut-in nun, you know. I thought I saw my life turn out like this. There's a series, I'm going to end up on this, and then I got to go see about Mom. The seven, yeah, look it up. The 7 Up series. Yep, the 7 Up series. It started in 1964 as a documentary. It was on Netflix when I watched it. It was on, and what they do is they take these kids that are 6 years old, or 7, and then they interview them, and then they go back every 7 years. And they did it how many times? What was the last one? There's a 7. And then it was 14, 21, 28, all the way up to 49. So it just shows you how people, what I often talk about, how people pretty much are who they are. They kind of grow into their spirit or their ego. It's really quite interesting. And then some of them are like, no, I'm not doing it anymore. They don't want to identify. It's really interesting. It's, you know, I wonder if there's other series like, I mean, there are. I mean, every time you look up a memory on your phone, it kind of reminds you, oop, there's the aspect. Let's see here. My aspect for today, you may enjoy a good movie or book or feel like escaping from day-to-day realities for a while. You could appreciate an imaginative approach and may value communal or futuristic ideas. Well, I think I'll sit on that for today, and God willing and the creek don't rise, and you know, we're safe where we are. It's about 12, 14. I don't think it's hit. It's hard to tell. You can't. We're safe until you know, ain't nobody around here